Yo, I don't know what the fuck just happened. That was very, very fucking suspect. And I don't know. So I'm looking up at the screen and to say something. I don't know what I was talking about. Then I guess they changed my channel. They didn't want me to like talk about it. It must have been something important. Um, the I don't know, but I don't know what the fuck was happening. But I looked at the screen and I noticed I wasn't live, and I'm like, why am I not live? Or like I noticed my motion wasn't like connecting. It was like it was like a few second process in my head of like, whoa, what's happening on your screen is not what's happening here, and why is what's happening here not happening on the screen, and what the fuck's happening? And then as soon as all that, a few seconds of that and all that came together, um, it like froze. I'll watch that video back later and see exactly like what the fuck happened. I think my lungs or something, something's not good in my chest area because maybe it's just all this negative energy that I'm trying to like dispel. Cause that shit weighs heavy on you too. But Jesus Christ, dude, I can't even focus on this game. I'm so fucking stressed out, and I shouldn't be, man. Like getting rid of two of the biggest stresses in my life for a few days should bring me peace, but just like realizing how I'm being treated like a fucking child or like a dog or like a not very well behaved like retarded kid or something, like it's like I don't need that shit. Nobody nobody needs it because I'm leagues above that shit, and I like it just doesn't make sense to me. And every time I try to like help people, they always think there's like oh, what do you want from me? I want you to be better. Like, why is that such a hard concept to grasp? Nobody can understand that. They think it's a personal attack, and they think, oh my god, like, you're coming after me because you hate me. Like, okay, because if that's what you believe to be true, then it's gonna be true for you. But like, I can't keep putting all the stress on my heart, man. I'm trying to do like a deep breath and all that shit, but whoa. Alright. Oh, god damn it. Get that fired. Oh, they got me. But it just, it blows my mind. You take all this negative energy, bottle it up, and you fly across the country to get away from the person that's causing you so much problems. I know she goes to her brothers and like talks about how like talks so much shit about me and how I'm this and that and this piece of shit because she like the thoughts that she has about me and what I am and what I am and what I stand for and what I do don't align with her thoughts. She thinks I'm on some bullshit, and she thinks I'm like trying to scam her and hustle her and like do all this, and it's like if I really wanted to do any of that, I've had my chance and opportunity, and I would have if I was that type of person, but I'm not. But no, but it's always the one. It's always the what you don't do. I guess it's gonna Well, it took me back to shore because I was taking too long to decide. Well, maybe. I don't even know how much Bulgarian I have. Everything in moderation, kids. Don't do drugs. Or do. I don't really give a fuck. If you do, just make sure you're in a very good mental spot. Like in control of your brain and thoughts and stuff. Because if you're not, you are going to be on a horrible ride that you are not prepared for. And that opens a can of worms, like which ones and how long and why, and like, I'm not doing all that. I'm looking for the mailbox, which might be this. I'm like, I don't know. I do not have any mail, okay. I think because I'm so used to being fucking stressed out all the time, like secondhand stressed, and like just the stress that I've had to deal with on my own. I don't know. Like, my body pretty much rejects like happiness and joy and like calmness, and my central nervous system is like not gonna work like that. And I need like an oxygen. I'm gonna go to one of those oxygen bars. I used to think that was stupid too, and I don't know why. Like somebody put that idea in my head, and I just grabbed it, accepted it, and went along with it for a long time. Like, I bet I would feel like a balloon, like getting like I feel stupid, but I feel like they're like flavored. They do have like flavored things, kind of like the hookah and stuff. I'm gonna actually, okay. I thought I wanted to play this game, and I do want to, but I can't do what I'm trying to do, and at the same time, with one of the areas are gonna suffer, and at that point it was kind of like everything was starting to suffer. Already done. Fucking forgot what I was. It's because if I could keep my central nervous system calm, and I get there, and some days it's like, whoa, very weird, very weird. I know you can hear that like slow crack. My frequency is very. I don't know. It's in a very weird spot right now. It's only 10 o'clock, dude. It feels, I guess, because it's sometimes when you're just on work mode and you put your fucking body, I think it's what I need is just like a stretch and a relax, and there's always so much going on in my head and so many ideas and so many thoughts and so many, at this point, seeds to like the future garden that I'm trying to grow, and it's like, god damn it. Then I get, and it's like, boom, like that, fucking get hit with a big wave of overwhelming negativity, and it's just like, it knocks me off my center of gravity, and it's just like, oxygen bar. See, I knew it'd come back to me. you're sitting there like barely can't ever fucking breathe, and that could be many of reasons. So people also ask, what's the point of an oxygen bar? Proponents of this oxygen therapy says it boosts energy levels, increases your endurance during exercise, helps you bounce back quickly from physical exertion, provides relief from stress and pollution. Huh. Okay. Okay, so God, I'm so sorry. I do this to myself, and then like my brain goes into work mode, and it's overpowering my fucking worthless body. But I need to realize is part of this process too, and I gotta take care of that too. And I'm not trying to like trauma dump on nobody, but god damn it, 10 years of like, just imagine that you're a fucking onion or a potato or a fucking piece of fruit or some shit. I don't know, I don't care. Just imagine yourself not being what you currently are. And fuck, where are we going with that? And that's hard to watch back. Like, oh, I remember. I feel compressed. That's a very good term. I don't know. Like, I always feel like my like what I'm doing right now is like I need to be like deep breathing always and like close to something. And it just, I don't fucking understand it. There's so much I still don't understand about life and like this big science experiment that we all are a part of. Everybody is just different elements on the chart, but part of me just doesn't. I feel like my fucking face was smashed in with something. And to be fair, we'll backtrack a little bit because I don't, like I said, I haven't, all of this like being happy to be alive and taking care of yourself and like, it's going back to the imagining you being an onion or something. And I need to start writing shit down as we talk about it or think about it or what the fuck ever, because like all of this is pretty much fair game to get rid of here. I always feel like I need to be like, something needs to be on my chest, or I need to be like breathing heavy. And that's for more than one reason, but the most obvious reason we'll ignore and go to the reason of I'm this potato, right? And this potato was thrown in the mud and thrown some more shit on top of the mud, and that mud turned into some bullshit that was like thicker than mud, and so motherfucking potato and tomato, pineapple, whatever the fuck you measure yourself. And just follow along with my. I'm trying to find a way to tell the story of my, just. I don't know, I sound fucking retarded right now. Because I'm overwhelming myself and like just trying to pile on a bunch of shit, and I know I need to stop doing that. Okay, that was the first good breath, because I do know I need to stop doing that. there's a lot of things I need to stop doing, and a lot of things I need to start doing, because you can look at life however the fuck you want to look at it, but the fucking basic salt and grain of the equation is that you can look at life as like a treadmill, like the belt, you know, it's always going. It's like a treadmill, nobody's even walking on it. Just imagine it like going fast, and just the way it's just tired of being a bum. And I know, like, in retrospect, I'm really not like as much of a bum as I like try to tell myself that I am, if that makes sense. But I know, like, I know more is meant for me, but because of the choices I've made in the past, I gotta like rectify that and hopefully steer me back in the right direction of where I'm going. I keep saying, oh, I want to be in WWE. Obviously, that's the main goal. That's the end goal. That's the main. I guess that would be Cody finishing his story, right? But the more you think about that, it's like, that wouldn't be even it. Like, it would be Cody, like, starting to write another chapter. All these like super strong thoughts I used to have as a kid, knowing like, yeah, like maybe maybe the first match I saw, we'll go back, we'll really focus on this, and it'll be a separate video titled like my first match was, and we'll talk about like what I think they were, and da 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 da. We'll break it all down and stuff like that separately, and I know I'm being too hard on myself a lot of times, and like, we'll go back to the little potato story. So this little potato is now under the mud and grime and filth and rain and sleet and ice and whatever you can imagine, just like burying and covering and just trying to stomp out this little flame. Well, the little flame matchbook kid. I don't know, there's so many different, like, if I focus too far in the wrong direction, I lose everything. And it's not like so much that's like horrible and great and what have you, but I was trying to like draw something out to make it kind of make sense to me when I'm trying to explain it to people that don't really understand me, or like they think they understand me and they want to, but it's like, okay, that's not. So just kind of see what happens here. And I told y'all before, y'all gotta be patient with me, and I gotta be patient with me too. Like, sometimes I gotta like stop and slow the fuck down, tell myself, hey, Junior, pump it back, take a chill pill, brother. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, is like decompress and tell myself like inside that I'm good and everything's good, because I know that it is going to be. Okay, so the more I look at it, the more it doesn't look like what it's supposed to be. Womp womp womp. And that's the crazy thing about art too, is like it's you start with something and maybe you get it, maybe like I don't know. To be able to just when I was able to paint in virtual reality and actually, I know it's gonna sound stupid off the top, but I'm doing that shit in virtual reality and I'm like, damn, it feels so real. Like, it, and it did. That's because all this shit is real. Like, the Apple Vision Pro and all that shit, like, we're coming to life with this crazy new era of technology that I don't think the world is ready for, to be honest with you. I am. I'm excited for it. It used to frighten me. It really did. A lot of it kind of still does, down to my core when I really think about some of the crazy shit. So I try to keep that an open fucking forum so we don't go down that path. However, so, okay, this little virtual exercise might kind of bring me to life here. So we can imagine this box. This is my fucking big fat head. And somewhere around in this box, there's a brain inside of it. Right, I know. It surprised me too, huh? Like, we'll crack jokes, and I'm the biggest fucking joke cracker and the biggest clown in the room. But also, when it's time to get serious and like when things really matter and that's important, I can be that also. So I think that's why like some of the NPCs that come into the Big Blue are like, oh, are you manager? And it pisses me off when they ask me that, because like they know that I'm not, or maybe they don't, maybe they actually think I am, but it pisses me off because it's like, you see that I should be somewhere where I'm not, and I'm trying to be thankful, because I am super grateful for the position I'm in at this current moment in my life, but at the same time, it's also time that I gotta all gas, no brakes, like even put some fucking nitrous in this shit, because like I was crying about the Cody Crybabies, I love that The Rock said that, because since I can fucking pull that shit out of the hat whenever I need to. But my life always seems to go back to that. When any good moment or anything that my life has ever felt like contributed to something was like being either at the show or watching the show or like watching the story play out on TV. And then now all this shit comes out with Vince McMahon and like a guy I knew this fucking bozo was like up to some sus shit when I was a kid. I didn't know he was like fucking on the island with Epstein and shit. I didn't know he was that psycho. But like I knew, I was like, this motherfucker's off, man. Like, and like the older I got and the more I was like learning about the business and like watching it and like going back to moments that I'm like, that really aired on live fucking goddamn TV. And y'all didn't think this man's was like dicking broads down and paying them to be quiet about it. Like, it's horrible. That's the world we live in, and to be honest with you, that's not my story to tell. But it's just so because it's such a big thing, such a big, like, knowledgeable event, and it kind of does, like, cast that dark shadow on professional wrestling and their fans. And before we go any further with that, I transcend that. I'm not one of these marks. I don't know half the shit that I'll be the first one to tell you when I don't know something. I will never pretend like I know everything because I know that I don't. Okay? I can talk trash. I can do it all. Like, I'm like Paul Heyman, man. I can just take a hat. And the way The Rock had everybody in his hands Friday night. Dude, he comes out there, he runs the whole city down, Salt Lake City, you bunch of trailer park trash, your wife and your sisters, your cousin, and da-da-da-da-da. And he's just running down everybody, boo, boo, boo. And then he takes his, because he's so great at what he does, he takes his little wand and wizards up all the energy here, and then gets him to boom in the same segment that he was just getting cheered, and vice versa. Flip that shit. Like, oh, Rocky sucks. But, like, he's doing what he's doing at such a great level, and it used to piss me off because I didn't understand all of this shit. I didn't understand the layers of reality that all kind of weave together to make everything come together. And dude, every time I thought I had it, like 100 times before my like 21st birthday, 1,000 times in my head, I'm like, yep, I jumped this guardrail right now, and I could run this match, finish this match, and be da da da. And the older I got, the more I realized, like, dog, like, the wrestling part of it, getting down to, like, the nitty-gritty, is, like, realistically the last part of the shit I want to get into. Obviously I want to do it and get thrown around and get slapped around and slap people around and stuff like that, but getting yourself prepared for that mentally when you're like, you spend almost 30 years of your life as a fucking like outcast, and like you're just the retarded kid that either some people want to talk to because they know, like, oh, hey, he's kind of slow, but he's a good dude or whatever, blah blah blah. And then the other ones that are like try to do the whole pity party shit, like, oh, he's slow, so I want to be his friend to make myself feel better about myself. Oh, and that shit drives me to the moon too, because I have to fucking dumb myself down always, and I've always had to do that my whole life, and I didn't understand it. I just didn't understand, like, why. And I don't mean it might sound cocky, and it might sound like I'm trying to, and this isn't like, I'm not in character right now. I know I said before, like, 99% of the time I'm in character in my videos and shit. Right now I'm not. Like, just opening up a can of worms with the world that I didn't, I don't know, man. Just like every step I go, I'm getting back to this now because I can, the thought, so, alright. So I'm at, it's like my brain in the middle here, and you can imagine these little lines, these little tick marks, whatever the fuck you want to call them, da 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 da. It's a bunch of thoughts, right? Okay. Thoughts, ideas, whatever. Boom, 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 right here, right? Brain, thought. And my brain will reach out and try to connect to these thoughts, right? Boom. 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 Connect. But sometimes it's just like a spark. Like the idea, like I get a really good idea or like a good something, and then it's just like, oh shit, it's there, but it kind of got nicked in the process. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I guess what I'm starting to realize is and every time I'm just getting started. I keep saying that a lot. I'm just getting started. And it's because I really truly am. Like, and I thought I had it all figured out. And this is very important. If you can take it, it doesn't matter what age you are, it'll still apply. But if you're like 18 to 30 and you think you have your life figured out and you think, oh, all this is gonna be exactly the way it needs to be for me and da 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 da, whatever, you don't have it figured out. You don't have the tip of the dick of life figured out, and you're gonna get fucked by life and molested by life in many different ways all throughout your existence upon this dusty planet. And all of these things that you encounter, your experiences come from your thoughts and the things that you think about and all of that shit. And we know that the simple state of, like, I'm not a fucking chemist or a scientist, but the constant state of matter is, it's like a proven fact that it never isn't or is, it just is, and it exists as it does. And that was why a lot of like quantum theory and quantum physics and mechanics and all that quantum shit went right the fuck over my head, right over my damn head, straight to the moon, because I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I didn't think none of that made sense. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was dumb, gay, homo, whatever the fuck. Like, oh, that's gay. I don't want to do that shit. That's stupid. Alright? And it's like, what? What? It's just, like, the way you're programmed, your brain is programmed from a young mind, like, shapes you to be the person you are today. And the person you are today, you don't know why you're that person. Maybe you're getting to the level of enlightenment and stuff where if you've been brought to this specific video, then you're dealing with something similar on the scale, on the gravitational scale of like problem, and then figuring out why we're existing, like, and then the more you ask yourself why, and not, dude, ask the fucking question, man. Ask a million questions. If you don't know the answers, ask the questions to get the answers to the questions you don't have the answers to, you fucking retarded motherfuckers. Because, and don't let anybody, I'm gonna go over cross-lap, and if you're paying attention, or if you've been paying attention from the start, not of just this video, but of the message I've been trying to bring to anybody that wants to listen to it, is that the thing between those pretty little eyes of yours is more than just a hat rack, okay? And the second you realize, you start noticing why you're put on this earth. Dude, people don't want to see you shine. If you know you're a star, and if you were like me at all, and this isn't trying to take away from anybody else's experience, I simply, in this state of my life, am trying to share the experiences that I have had on this fucking 30-year conquest of ups, downs, highs, lows, love, hate, fear, pain, all of these controllable, choosable emotions. And yeah, like situations like trigger you, and it's because you, and the thing is people, they bottle this shit up, they bottle everything up, and they don't want to talk about it, because they think they're bothering somebody. And then when they start asking questions, why is this like this? Because I know for me, when I started asking questions, my fucking stupid mother of mine, because I fucking said so, because I said, okay, so, okay, great, that's cool, but like, that only answers like one of the whys. There's so much more why to that. Like, well, why did you say so? And like, who gave you the initiative to say that, and who told them to tell you that? And it's like a chain of like thoughts that like go from here to here, and they connect. And for better or worse, all of these thoughts and vibrations and patterns coming together collectively is our existence, is our universe. And God, I need to be careful because I don't want to fucking get erased, because I'm not suicidal anymore. So if anything happens to me, y'all, no, but for real though, like, Cat Williams ain't lying. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, if you can think for yourself in this day of like horrendous slave mentality that a lot of people are living in, if you can push yourself past that and you can get past that, the world is in your clamshell, or the world is your oyster, or some fucking dumb shit, right? Some sentimental bullshit. But that's the thing, is like, so people focus on what it is. If they focus on what it is and what it, down to the core, what it can be, is it beneficial to my life? You need to ask yourself questions like this every day when your energy and your central, I'm going to write that down because I'm a central nervous system. I feel like I forget that that's something that is an entire thing of like millions of neutrons and electrons and all that science shit that I didn't give a fuck about until recently. That it is what it is, man. And here's the thing about that statement, like, in your life, there's gonna be so many things that happen to you, and how you look at these situations, and how your mentality work, like how the wheels work in your head, if when they start spinning, you hear certain words, you get triggered and you go on this fucking tirade, and you gotta okay, I'm gonna be quiet, because what I'm gonna say, what I want to say, and what I will say eventually when I have the right words for it, is, if it's not said right, if the non-exact words are used correctly in the right placement of the fucking structure of the sentence and all that bullshit, then it's gonna become like a war that you can't win. Like, I'm gonna get canceled for saying that there's only two genders, because there is. Like, people don't want to hear the truth because it blurs their vision of what they perceive to be reality. I had to go through this whole, like, identity crisis bullshit. I'm not saying I was like, oh, I wanted to be a girl. I explored on that side of shit, like, did I like stuff like that? Like, I wanted to know, like, did I like it, did I not? And instead of, like, growing up in a family where, like, these options are being able to be explored and, like, talked about and whatever, I couldn't, if my parent A, that's parent A, this little box, that's her thoughts. Her brain only works inside this small box. Anything that could possibly exist outside of that box will not be heard because I said so. Because I am your creator and I brought you into this world and I can take you out of it at any point in time. Okay, fucking cool, buddy. I didn't want to come to this world anyway. So now that I'm here, we gotta make the best of it. And so for years, I would always try to bust out of this box, right? I would have ideas that, well, what if this option exists out here? It doesn't, and it's not going to happen, and it's not going to be that way. And then they would try to fold their box on my reality and close the door, and what they said was law and order, and that was it. And it's so fucking crazy because I thought I had a semi-normal family compared to, like, some of my friends that I grew up with, and I knew their situation wasn't really much better than mine when it came to, like, parental guidance. But to be fair, we're gonna air all this shit out over time and just let it be, you know? Just accept whatever thing in the present moment, in the present fucking moment. Because if I'm not gonna argue with you because I've studied this for years, but it is like you are your thoughts, you are your situation. Anybody that's gonna try to, like, downplay that and put themselves in this victim box and play the victim, what we're gonna do, we're gonna cross you out. Because if you really believe that and you're really stuck that deep in a victim mindset, that's where you need to go, is in that box. And I'm gonna keep moving forward because once again, don't let people put you in a box that you're not in. Like, I'm gonna tell you, dumb motherfuckers, something right now. Okay, I was going into character a little bit right there, right? Like, hearing The Rock cuss on, like, calling somebody, do what the fuck we want on live TV. It's like, the way we're viewing entertainment is going off the rails. And I'm about to be one of the biggest superstars on the fucking face of this earth. Not that I already haven't been, but, like, I delayed my own journey, and now, and along the way, I was able to learn a lot about myself and learn things that I needed to know to get me to where I am going and all this good stuff. So I'm not unhappy or anything like that with the decisions I made, but, like, and this may apply for yourself as well, but you have to take these decisions that you did make, and you can't turn chicken shit into chicken salad, but what you can do is turn it into a sandwich. And that probably goes over so many people's head, and I hate that I have to stop and like explain and break everything down to like a molecular level, because I genuinely honestly did not realize that there are so many people in the world that like their vibration is just so low and so dense and heavy and negative, and it's always like that. Bro, I've been up here my whole life. I've been on the like high vibe shit, and I say my whole life. We circle back to the 10 years of the depression and shit. That was part of that. But oh my god, I just always feel like a slave, and I've always felt like a slave going to school, and now like whatever the fuck we whatever we're in now, it's something that's going to be addressed later down the road as like a looking back type thing. But god damn it, dude, I don't. You gotta follow what's in here regardless. I don't give a fuck about what the fat bitch is trying to tell you. Oh, you should have been this. You could have done this. You could have, should have, would have, would have. Yeah, and you should have stopped getting fucking cheeseburgers when you hit 45, lady. But you didn't. And you're a fat bitch and you're miserable and you hate the world now because you didn't choose any choices to be better with your life. And again, the words I say is not meant to be an attack or like a knife through the heart of anybody that's like offended or affected by my words. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, what about the shit I'm offended by? Nobody cares, okay? So now that we got that out of the way, like I'm a real person. Like I'm a realist, and people don't like that. And it took me so long to realize like I'm not the problem. I'm so not the and not to say that I haven't been the problem in situations, because of course I know I have been. I know there's been situations I've been in that I have been the problem, and I know there's been situations that I have been made a problem by others' actions and thoughts and shit like that. I feel like I'm like telling my whole life story right now for what? For fucking why? I don't know what. Like, is all this like deep shit that we're gonna dive back into when one day you see the Firefly Funhouse again on your screen? And I'm gonna, when I get into WWE, I'm definitely gonna pitch my ideas and like what I think like could work and how I think it could be brought back to life in a respectful manner, because I don't want anybody to, especially like once we really start getting into the seriousness of like my character and all this stuff that I'm gonna have to be 24/7, and like of course my brain shuts off again. Are you can hear that god awful like kind of grinding sound in the background? That's supposed to be my PS5 fan cooler, but I cleaned it 2 weeks ago, and it made a give or take a few days, between like 7 and 9 days ago, something like that. I don't know. When every day's the same, like almost down to the fucking T. Get up and do the shower and the teeth and eat and whatever, go grind the slavery work, 9 to 5, 8 to 5, 10 to whatever shift it is, it doesn't matter. But you run in, you do your little business, and you come home, and then it's 8 hours, 10 hours, grind, 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 grind. And then what do I get from that negativity and backlash? All you're doing is playing video games. When are you gonna focus on a real future? When are you gonna do this and this? You owe me, da 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 da. I just these people living in this victim mindset, just it irks me to the deepest core of my bones. And tomorrow is gonna be a very miserable day. I don't want it to be, but just the black cloud of negativity that was just kind of this weekend is mentally, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna be in a good mood. I personally am gonna be in a good mood. I'm gonna be ready to go, ready to work. But it's either gonna be still raining, or it's gonna be like musky, super musky. So by the time I get to work, I'm gonna smell like a fucking fat bitch that just came out of the onion tank or something. It's so crazy how I have so much to say and nothing to say at the same time. It just kind of it is what it is, and that was what I was trying to say to you earlier, is don't stress yourself out on situations that you can't change, you can't control, you can't fix, you can't, like, slide that phrase in your life. It is what it is. This happened because this needed to happen, so this could happen. Like, life is a constant stream of, like, energy. You can imagine the stream of, like, water as the energy. And damn it, they don't want me to talk about this shit. Well, pay me off so I have, so my mentality is somewhere else. Alright, I really wanted to play Skull and Bones, man. I really wanted to get into that today. Had a big thing planned out. I was gonna do a couple things, and the whole thing with the camera shit, it was just like, why is that your focus? Like, I just didn't it just didn't make sense to me, like, why you're so focused on something that does not matter. There's no relevancy to that. Like, yeah, I unplugged the camera because I didn't want to be fucking hawk-eyed, like, be watched all weekend. And it's not like I'm doing anything sus, but if in your head you're telling yourself sus situations, like, oh, he's doing this, he unplugged it because of this, and you're bringing all that fucking energy my way, it's like, get the facts right first. Like, it's you unplugged it back in. I said, live right now, you can see I'm not doing anything. I tried to say I was, like, lying about it. I'm like, just like, why do you always want to start fights? Always want to start fights. And I don't get it, man. I don't get it. There's no reason. Like, life is so good, man. There's no reason to be stressed out. And because if you're living in that slave mentality of, like, oh my God, I gotta pay Whitey's bill. And like, yeah, they're your bills, but who the fuck decided that we have to pay to live on this planet? What dickhead decided to bring that in? And that's another video for another conversation, but it's just, I don't know. This game is not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to focus on it like I want to right now. I think sleep is really what I need right now, considering I haven't had much of that the past couple days. But like when I'm happy and like I don't need that, but someone's just throwing fucking onions of negativity at you just for existing. Like, okay, we can go back and forth all day about like, oh, okay, yeah, well, why'd you need to be in her room in the first place? And well, first of all, it's the living room. We used to be together, so like I used to exist in that space together with her, right? And then once that became not a thing, that doesn't mean like I didn't want to like exist outside of these four walls. So like did the videos, whatever, say, why are you lying to me? You're always lying to me. I'm like, first of all, I'm not lying to you about what I used the block. I needed to charge my shit. And I didn't want you judging me while I'm doing my shit. And that even, it shouldn't even been a conversation. You're on vacation. Like, like, to be so stressed out and nitpicking and micromanaging my entire existence, it just, it's crazy. And it's what I put myself through. You're probably sitting in there listening to the whole thing, you know? And that, like, I just don't feel like I have any privacy. I'm like, what was it? It's not a big deal, and you turn it into a big deal. Like, why? Why do you make a big deal? Like, you can't just let me exist in the confines of the four walls that I don't even want to fucking be behind. Like, we both know that it's like the end of the road for me. I don't understand why it's just being drug out as much as it has been. I don't think about that shit. I can't even think about anything because I'm so fucking annoyed right now. It's just, I don't know how you can constantly, day by day after day, try to help somebody and do your best to be like existing cooperatively and all that shit in real time and like so I know tomorrow is one of my days of ASAN, and then like Sky Daddy's like, well, we're gonna do something to make you think about what you did when you weren't supposed to be doing something you weren't supposed to do. Which, again, I'm not. I'm gonna I'd probably just be quiet about that because it's sometimes the words that you say can be taken out of context. And somebody can add a bunch of fucking bullshit to it that didn't exist, and look, here's the thing. There's two sides to every story. I know I'm not fucking perfect. I never claimed to be, never tried to be. But when it gets to a point where you know I'm doing my absolute fucking best to be a better person, not only to be a better person, take care of your dog and exist in your world, and then micromanaging and acting like I'm trying to fucking, anytime I do anything positive, I sent a video one time, and the first, she didn't watch the video. No, she didn't ever watch it. The first thing she did, she said, "Are you scamming me? Why are you trying to scam me?" Nobody's trying to fucking scam you. And the reason that happened to you so many times is because it's all the fuck you think about. And nobody listens. Nobody listens. That everything you think and everything you focus your thoughts on becomes your reality. So if your life sucks, you are to blame. There's nobody else to blame. And I had to learn that the hard way. I'm not. This broad's no saint. Not close to the stretch. But I acknowledge the fact I wouldn't be where I'm at without her at the time. As like that person needed to be in my life at that time to teach me things that I didn't know. And like on the same hand, teach this person things that I know that they didn't know. So it was like a kind of like a swapping information type thing. You know, with like DNA and connectivity and all that shit, just like weaves itself back together, right? Womp, womp, womp. I don't know, maybe I'm the problem, and I get like that, and I know that I'm not, but like sometimes that person is really, really good at making me think I am. I'm from a long line of fucking narcissists and shit, so it's pretty fucking goofy, but we're gonna go to sleep early. I don't know. I'm sometimes sometimes you gotta set the cards on the table and let the dealer play his hand, I guess. Like, whatever's gonna happen, and that's a fucking storytelling way of fucking saying, like, it is what it is. Whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen because it needs to happen. And it's not arguable. Ever. It's real life.
Welcome back to the Motorfest.
And I'm gonna go back to my little crybaby asking about the rain earlier. So I said I knew all this negativity, that black cloud, that black onion of negativity came my way. And someone told me yesterday to call into work. Someone just said, take a day for you. And then, you know, the other little part of me is like, no, the point's, oh, you get fired, da, da. Thinking like fucking the buzzkill would think, and just waving that negative energy around. It's like, no, like what? Wow, like you gotta fight those thoughts and think, like, don't succumb to mediocrity ever. I'm gonna go keep trying to like do something with that, those feathers sticking out of something I did, man. I think it's time to just step out of my comfort zone again in a very big way. That's all I'm gonna say right now. But that action needs to happen, and then I think then everything will really start to like manipulate itself into position like it's supposed to. I'm always so far ahead of myself that it's good and bad, because it's like good that I'm finally after 10 years doing all this shit that I should have been doing 10 years ago. I know I should have been doing it, like the vlogging and the YouTubing and the music making and all this shit. I could have done that, and I kept like, and for a while I was in the mindset, it wasn't like near as like the light wasn't as bright as it was now, if you could say, but it just, oh man. I don't even want to sleep. I just kind of, I don't want to die, I don't want to sleep, I don't want to, like, I just want to fucking exist. Like, just have this free feeling of existence, to where I'm not like, where there's not this like mental cage like pressing down, because the mental cages are heavier than the real ones. They weigh you down, dig you out of the sand. I spent 10 years of my life doing nothing about something that I knew I should have been doing something about. I knew I was a rock star, I knew I was a superstar, I knew I should have been on flights to Dubai years ago, but the fact that you can't really bring that to an actual reality without making people think you're fucking lunatic, and really explaining to them the simple science of how you got there, it really makes you look, it really puts you in another box, man. And I fucking hate being put in boxes. I've always broke out of them, like I was saying earlier. Any box you put me in, I break out of, always, because I'm not meant to be put in a zoo. I'm not a zoo animal. I'm not a circus monkey. I don't need all this extra Shit. Alright. We spawn this. We're gonna... As of right now, I'm gonna fast travel to a very weird point on the map. Right now, I don't know. Right now we're on... Maybe... It's like that Taylor Swift song, or that one of those broads. And bro, what I told y'all about the Super Bowl. I don't need arguments, I don't need nothing crazy coming my way. But I fucking told y'all. I didn't know it was gonna go into overtime, and I probably could have guessed it if I really, like, the more I think about it, the more it's just like a big entertainment spectacular drawn out and brought out to fucking whatever. I'm so fucking mentally weighed down with so much bullshit that I don't even know if it's like me or a part of me anymore. And I know my boy keeps trying to get me to go back to the fight, like to Arkansas, and it's like I'm trying to get him out of there. Like, I understand why he's there, you know, at the moment, and like why, you know, and it's not my place to say like, oh, you should do this or this with your life or whatever to anybody, but it's just like, man, I know he's meant for more than the four walls of the Big Blue, and it's just, maybe we'll have a really good like come to Jesus meeting type shit. I don't know, man. I really don't know anymore. I just I feel like I'm right where I need to be, but maybe at the wrong, like, this is the right time. Like, timing is everything. But like, it's just, I don't know, man. Just something. I know exactly what it is. I know what I need to do. But to be honest with you, I don't know how to make that step. I don't know. Like, I've been like a shadow per se to other people's existence, and people's had their thumb on me so much, and like try to hold me down so much that I wasn't really aware of all these things that I could like break into and like become and be a part of. And damn, this Cadillac is fucking nice. Don't let anybody tell you what... Okay, anybody that tries to tell you anything about your life that doesn't relate to them, don't listen to them, bro. Like, if someone's not trying to help you, like, tell you, like, oh, the reason I talk about my shit, and, like, we've all were a part of this experience, this fucking science experiment, whatever. And I want to see every angle of it. That's why I like talking to people and like hearing conversations with people that like experience things different ways that I did, or maybe not even different things, but like people that were at the exact same event and how it affected them differently than it affected me, and like like just so many things, so many good real conversations are ready to be had with people, but so many people just live in fear, and they're so afraid to be themselves that like they don't want somebody to find out that somebody's third world country's cousin, sister thought about sending them a text message, and it's like, and then they put their thumb on you and just hold you down and marginalize you with fear. God damn. I don't want y'all to kill me. I'm just, man, the world could be a better place if everyone just knew that you wouldn't be worried about sitting at somebody else's table if you realized how much better your own table is. And that's to anybody listening to anywhere ever. Like, that's not like me. I know I'm the best at everything I do. And then and here's where it gets crazy, is because some people, they like being around people that are better than them, and for two different reasons. They like to be either challenged by the people that are better than them to see where they can learn and grow, or those people that are better than them, they think, will snub them out to existence because they see something, they see the star power that you don't possess. I don't even really know anymore, like, why because all of this time, like, I thought I was doing this for me, and I realized everything that I do, every frame of existence, of reality that I'm in for somebody else, in somebody's, okay, let me break it down into, like, dummy terms. 1,000 people could have interacted with me and had a pre-chosen judgment on me based upon the first 30 seconds that they had of me, or like the first 30 seconds, first 10 seconds even, of like acknowledging someone's existence and like taking in their whole aura or whatever the fuck, and like realizing, like, a lot of these people think I'm fucking crazy and sus because they, I don't know, man, I don't know why everybody thinks I'm fucking crazy. I've been to the nut house, man, we did that, we spin the block on that shit, and it turned out I don't need to be there. Like, and it's frustrating that the situation that I was in led me there. And I think that's going to be the catalyst to my superstardom, is because those fuckers fucked me up in the process of doing something that shouldn't have been done in the first place. And we all know what happened by now. I'll talked about it in another video. And just getting pushed out of a job that you thought, it wasn't even more so the job, it was like getting pushed out of like a quote unquote family. And that was the first time I'd like felt that at the job. At a job was like that feeling of like, cause there'd be someone always made us cookies or like something small, or like a little dish or something on Sundays to eat. It was always little things like that like I didn't really have growing up, that like I started connecting with these people, and it's like, damn, that's normal stuff. Like the normal shit that people, it's normal to have like a big family and to have like a bunch of people that care about you and shit like that. But when you don't have that on either side of the really support system, and you're kind of just on your own, there's kind of, you know, in the field playing ball by yourself, it sucks, you know, sometimes, because so many people expect you to have it figured out, and they don't even have it figured out. It's crazy, because they're the ones that brought you here. They're the ones that put you on this planet in the first place. And I'm like, well, you should know more than me, because I'm too lazy to teach myself. And that's another thing too. If you're from 18 to 30 and you've had, again, even this message applies to anyone across the spectrum that's dealt with these traumas that are not normal to deal with. Like, it's not normal to get screamed at all the time when you want to genuinely have curiosity and you want to learn about questions and you want to learn things. It's not okay to be screamed at. You know, it's not okay to psychologically, like, denounce your children. Maybe denounce is not the right word, but like, you get, like, there's so many sickos out there and just so many people that have kids and they brought kids into this world that they weren't prepared for, they weren't ready for, and they didn't have any idea of how to do it, and then when it came time to do it, they were trying to figure it out by a bunch of other fucking people that didn't have it figured out either, and it became this big fucking clusterfuck of like, nothing is going right because nobody knows where the fucking stream is coming from. It's like, yeah, we all see the water flowing, but you're collecting this water, this information. The water is a metaphor as the information is passing along, and you get that, and it's like, dude, I'm trying my best to be in a good mood still, because I'm looking at where I'm going and not where I'm at, but where I'm at currently has got me fucking pressed because I'm not where I need to be right now. And what's gonna happen is when I get my seat on the throne and I start getting these plaques for like YouTube creation, people start paying me and I start having fans, and that shit's weird to think about too, is like people that I've never met, don't know, never will ever see again, most likely in my life. A 10-second interaction, it's what I was trying to talk about earlier, the 10-second interaction. When you initially see somebody, the first 10 seconds of like your energy field connecting with theirs or like acknowledging theirs or whatever, you're gonna know right off the bat, like, this person's sketchy, this person's suspect, this person's up to no good. You feel that shit off the tip of your bones right there. And people, and to be fair, I'm not finished, so don't interrupt me, Custer, because I'll smack the fuck out of you. And you know I will. You've done it before. Don't get yourself so fired up you don't know what you want to talk about now. Your fucking heart hurts because you're putting extra stress on yourself, and you're stupid, and I want to fucking choke you out and strangle you to make you understand. And I say you, I'm speaking to myself from what I'm trying to explain to you just probably sounds crazy as fuck anyways. I probably should just shut the fuck up like they want me to do anyway. Just shut the fuck up. Everybody just wants me to exist in their life and just shut up, bow down, and do what I say. I'm gonna let you know right now, that's not me. Again, sometimes I did, like I said earlier, I gave into it before, but it's not something I do willingly, that's for sure. I'm so bummed out, like about all this bullshit that I shouldn't even be thinking about at this present moment, because people don't know how to get their emotions and their priorities and their under control, and they try to manipulate that and turn that into a problem. Dude, I'm as real as it comes. Like, I have no reason to lie to anybody about anything. I have no reason to be sus with people unless they're sus with me first. I'll give you that. I always, like, I start my shit a good energy balance, like I'm here and always can go up. And motherfuckers always try to take that and bring me down. I'm not a fan. It's 11 o'clock. I've been going in circles for the past hour. And my whole fucking night and shit was shifted just based on one text message that should have never been sent in the first place. And if you were paying attention, it was the one where so and so is so bad, like, is having all these thoughts going on inside their head, so much so they think I'm on such a big scam, fucking whatever, ship a scammery. They got that in their head so clear and thick that that's what's happening. They try to create that reality and project that onto me, and it's like, no, it's not it. I don't know what to do anymore. I really don't. I thought I had it down. I thought I was doing the right things. I thought I was going in the right direction. And ultimately, for what I want in life, I am in the right direction. And like, I know Rome wasn't built on a day. And unfortunately, I can't keep living or thinking about at all the 10 years that I didn't spend doing things that I needed to do. Like, I knew in my head, it would just be so simple and be done and over with. You know, you just get up, do it, boom, boom, boom. And I was just, my brain was just so wired to, like, buck the system, right? Everything that because once I started getting older and realizing that things that people were telling me weren't really as true as people try to say it was. So you gotta do your own research. And that's what I've been doing. I've been researching this topic. I've been studying people for nearly 30 years. That's not on purpose. It's like when you're fucking retarded or autistic or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not a self-diagnoser or whatever. I'm one of those fucking blue-haired fucking feminist warriors gonna try to cut me down to their level and try to victimize themselves and say I'm this big problem. And people probably try to do that to you too. And here's the thing, like, don't ever let anyone tell you that you are the problem. If you know deep down inside of you, you know what's right and what's wrong and what you did and what you didn't do. So you don't need anybody else telling you that. You don't need anybody. Man, I'm so fucking bummed out. I had such good thoughts, I had a lot of good ideas, and I was happy. It's just, that made me realize more so that I can't keep doing this moving forward. Like, all I'm trying to do really is exist and make myself become the biggest internet superstar the world has ever seen. And you have to use big words, like, you have to stand firm in your shit, and like, it sounds small on the surface and it sounds stupid on the surface, but people that get it, and the people that don't, and you can't fucking, I'm gonna bring it back to it is what it is. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make the son of a bitch drink it. If the horse, in its mind, for some fucking reason, whatever the fuck reason it is, tells itself in its mind that water's contaminated, I'm not drinking it, that shit's gross, I'm not doing it. And the horse does not drink the water because inside of its head, it told itself that the water is fucking poison, and it believed it so much so that it became true. Not so much that it was the poison. Man. I'm just so fucking bummed out, dude. I think all of this is teaching me that I really need to just go ham as fuck on me, focus on me, full speed ahead, focus on me. No distractions, no cutoffs, nothing distracting my way of greatness. No negative onions to be launched at me to have to pick and peel apart and de-web and deconstruct and senselessly, so much senseless negativity. And I try to do the exercises and try to keep feeling like an atom bomb that's about to explode. All the fission and all the energy and all the molecules just getting real tense and real tight and getting real compact and produced and just ready to fucking explode. But it's just that coil of tension. You know it's gonna be there because it just once you get through that, you break the surface tension or whatever. Just keep moving forward, and I'm not listening to anybody that I will no longer in my life ever listen to anybody ever, because at the end of the day I know what's best for me. At the end of the day, you know what's best for you. I don't know what's best for you. You do though. So that's the example of like you trying to tell me, oh, you probably need to grow your beard out so your tattoos don't get shown and so you can get a better job. Okay, that's not your decision or thought. You don't need to be thinking about what I'm doing or why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you take all the fucking negative energy that you spent focusing on why somebody else is doing something that they are doing, you need to take that shit and turn it into positive energy, into something that you want to do for your fucking life. Turn that shit around. The fuck is this? This is weird. What the fuck? Who's this? Who is this? Oh 09. Who do I know? I know one person with a California. No, and that's not even. Alright. That should be somebody that I know and like I've probably tried to make me feel bad for not having their number saved. But there wasn't even a message. Oh, yikes. Speaking of chasm of negativity. Okay. Be careful what you wish for, because you will get it down to the fucking T. If you don't ask for the things you want the right way, you're gonna get the wrong shit in your life. And I'm starting to learn that. I'm starting to realize that this person met on the internet, because of course that's how shit goes nowadays. And I was playing into the little facade at first. Like, I thought I wanted a broad that was like down to earth, like only wanted me and wanted me to be their like main life source, kind of, and not necessarily that, but just kind of I wanted to be like someone's center of the universe type shit. And that's crazy as fuck the more I think about that. And like, I didn't understand why I wanted that and why I was thinking those things. And anyway, I thought that's what I wanted, and it wasn't, not it. It started like just very attachy, like really quick to text, and just like, oh, I stopped talking to these guys because I want to talk to you, and that's fine and that's great and all, but like when you don't even know this person, and like the only thing you know about this person is 4 or 5 frames of their reality that they put in a digital fucking placard and put to the world, and you're like, oh my god, you're such this great person, I want to be with you. And like, I leaned into it, and I know I shouldn't have, because I was like, man, and this is one of these things where like, I don't know, sometimes the hand of help is as heavy as the hand of burden. And if that doesn't make sense to you, like, just listen to those words again and think about it. But anyway, back to the story. I obviously at this point in my life, and I'm trying to rebuild that like dating scene type shit where I feel comfortable being around broads and wanting to date them and talk to them and stuff. And we were getting to that point where I was like, okay, I'll see what, it's like, I'm not gonna see this person ever in real life, so I'll play along to like, I guess it was like an ego boost or whatever, like make me feel good about myself for like once in my life or whatever. I was like, oh, like she actually wants you and nobody else. And then like the more you think about that, like, damn, that shit's crazy, bro. Like love is love, and that's great and all, but like, you don't, when you tell somebody that you love them, like, so soon after not even ever meeting them in person, like, what you know about them is just the frames that they've depicted on their thing. And so I started feeling bad. And see, that's the thing, is where like, and that's where it started to feel like, is this one of these, is this like a legitimate, the balance between like is this a legitimate thing that's actually happening? Is this person being as legitimate as she's coming off to seem? At the same time, it was almost so much so legitimate that it seemed like a scam. And sometimes you say like, oh, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. And like, yeah, that's true in a sense, because that's kind of what it was. Is like, she is a real person that just was never loved correctly, and all I do, and I guess that was the key, and I didn't realize it. That was another key, is that like I didn't realize how like what we're gonna talk about this like with people on the podcast, but like what is love, and like what makes you feel that, and like what is that, and like how do you know that's what it is? And there's so many questions about that I know it's not that. Like, you don't love somebody that you've just met, that you've never met. Like, maybe you love things about me, maybe like the lifestyle that I'm living, or the things that I'm doing, or like the energy that I bring to the table, but like to say that you love me and you don't know me is weird. And that's the thing I have to kind of get with like fans and stuff, that like these people that don't know me are never gonna know me, or know I'm not gonna go have dinner with these fucking bum ass peasants, but because they have these 5 or 6 frames of my life scattered about, they assume that they know me, and they assume that like, oh, this guy is this and this guy is, because of what I display to the world. And everything that every message I'm trying to portray is deeper and more rooted than anything anyone ever wants to get into. And it's sad, because all people want to talk about is the fucking dumbest bitch on the block making a new fucking rap song about her stinky pussy and guns and violence. And that's great if that's the lifestyle, if that's your reality, then, you know, and that's your way to fucking put it out on the art table, then fucking do it. Because I'm not here to judge anybody, you know what I'm saying? People cast judgment on me always, bro, always. And they'll say with their words that that they don't judge me, or they're not thinking certain shit. I'm levels above these fucking people. I can feel their energy. Like, and this is what we were talking about earlier. It goes back to the 10 seconds thing of like, in 10 seconds, when you interact with somebody, the way their energy meshes or collides or smacks with your energy, you know right away. We said this earlier. You know right away if that person is up to some bullshit, been through some bullshit, going through some shit. Like, you can tell all these different stages of like what the fuck someone is going through just by a lock of the eyes and like a simple 5-word conversation. And because I'm a clown, I'm a walking fucking joke book, not always, you know, at the expense to myself, but I try to make other people laugh, because laughter is medicine, music is medicine, and I know deep down inside that every single motherfucker that's ever gonna see this video has been through some crazy fucking shit sometime in their life. And if you haven't, and if you're brand new to life and you're like, you haven't been through anything crazy, your time will come. Like, there's some, like, the more I listen to people talk and like listen to their stories being told, it's like so many of us were really living like the same fucking life, but with different social like, this might, I feel like a drawing board with this, but like different social constructs and different. I don't know, man. It's like, energy, something about wave particle. I don't know, I'm not a quantum physics physicist, but I like to learn about it. I'm learning more quantum. I know more shit about like quantum theories and mechanics and like the whole law of like existence than I should, maybe. I don't want to say should, but like it just felt like all of this knowledge as it was coming upon me, it was just like I was like my soul was like doing these like things where it's like connecting these like spurs of like moments, like boom, connect, like a thought, connect, boom, connect. I don't know, I'm going all over the place. I do apologize, but there's just so much that I gotta get out, and I'm trying to get it out in a way that I don't make people think that I'm fucking any crazier. They already know that I'm not. But just the right this, I'm gonna say this again, and I'll say it probably another 100 times over the next 1,000 videos I post. Perception is not reality. Like, just because you perceive me to be a thug, you perceive me to be this type of like low status gremlin type shit, but and then you realize like, oh, that kid's actually got a heart of gold. We're always so quick to judge people, like, and it's so crazy. Like, there's no reason for it, bro, because the only people that I believe need to be judged are the people that, like, the hopeless, the sorry, and they want to be sorry for themselves. Fine. Then, because you know why I can say that? Because I lived through that. And then when I didn't want to live through that anymore, and when I realized, oh, the choices I made that led me here, that led me here, that led me here, it's not the drug's fault that the user got addicted to it. Okay? It's not and we can put that analogy to a string of things, and okay, it's I don't know. And then I get, and this blows my mind too. I am trying to be a genuine person and help people. And there's so many, I want to help anybody that wants to help themselves. Not everybody wants to help themselves, and I get confliction a lot with that, because at work in Big Blue, somebody wants to be lazy, and they think they're in a hurry and they gotta be somewhere, and they're like, oh, do this for me, do it. I'll show you how to do it, so you know next time. No, I'm in a hurry, dude, you're in a hurry, I'm not. I'm gonna show you how to use this machine. If you want the help, if you don't want me to show you, go the fuck to the register and let somebody scan your shit out yourself, or let the fucking bitch over there scan your shit out, and leave me the fuck alone. But, and it's so many of these NPCs, bro, they're so brainless, and I gotta have laughter, man, so I guess because, like, I know when people are being shiesty to me. I know when people are trying to, like, set me up or like use words to kind of attach me to a situation. And if I'm speaking over everybody's heads, I'm fucking sorry, and I'm trying to doing my best to find a way to fucking bring it down to dummy town, but the sad reality is when you, like, so many people, and I was saying this earlier, I don't know how much of it I said, but there's two types of greatness in this world, and there's two types of people in this world. If you want to, there's the people that acknowledge the greatness, and they want to learn from that greatness, and they want to be better, and they want to extend the opportunity of greatness to themselves, to make that transcend themselves and go beyond that. And that's great, because that's what this whole community thing is about, is like connecting and like interweaving that big web of energy, of positive energy, to like make everything work the way it does. I still, it blows my mind to think about like how simple, like just a simple math equation breaks down our entire existence of this world, of this planet that we're on. But I was saying earlier too that I said I knew this is gonna be, like, tomorrow's gonna be a bad day, and that's because I'm paying for my sins. Each time I make a choice that isn't really aligned with like things I really should be doing, and I get these negative thoughts of like, oh, you're gonna get caught, I don't want to downplay being an opportunist, because I definitely am. Like, I'm an opportunist and I'm a survivalist. I've learned that, like, I'm not a crook, I'm not like a criminal or nothing like that, but like, it's one of those things that if you weren't in the exact situation, there's no reason for you to be like, oh, you should have handled it this way, you should have handled it this way, I would have done this, because you fucking don't know what you would have done in that situation unless you were in that situation yourself. I digress. I think, oh my god, man, my chest feels so much better. All that negativity that I was just like letting hold me down. I'm gonna go back to the like, be careful what you wish for thing. And so we're talking about how you meet this new person and you think like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a person that's like down for me always and like da 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 da. But when you get that and you realize that's not exactly what you wanted, because that you're getting someone that's unloved, that was not loved properly, or like not healed from like past traumatic experiences, to come back and be like, here, like, let's reopen this trauma and deal with it. And nobody knows, like they don't want to talk about, nobody wants to talk about anything with anybody, because they all think that somebody has an ulterior motive and like scam against them. And anyway, so it goes a few days and I'm playing into this bullshit with this person, like going back and forth with the cute little text messages and like not anything that that I believe, but I'm playing the part, I guess. I didn't know what part I was playing, and like we all have a part to play, and sometimes we have to play that part to. It's like life is a constant game of chess, like that's always moving and manipulating around the board, and you always have to be ready for like the next move and the next thing. And I was thinking like, well, maybe like this door of negativity is going to open to a positive one. And I realized, like, that person is, like, what we were talking about a minute ago. Unloved and, like, traumatized and, like, toxified, I guess you could say. And just, like, doesn't know how to communicate and doesn't know how to properly express and adapt and feel and, like, process the emotions and why you're feeling them. And so it becomes a big, like, thing. And then I start thinking, like, well, I don't want to baby nobody. Like, I don't want to babysit this broad. I don't want to, like, of course, like, if you have your hand out and I'm fucking trying to help and you reach your hand out, I'll grab your hand and pull you up. You know what I'm saying? But I started noticing red flags. Anytime a broad starts, like, talking about money or finances or anything to me, conversation's done and over with, because I know 9 out of 10 times they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or they're OnlyFans models that I have no respect for anyway. Like, I have no respect for a fucking prostitute that sells her fucking pussy meat on the internet. And, like, yeah, that's someone's daughter and someone's whatever the fuck you want to call it. Oh, someone's sister, someone's daughter. Oh, well, they made those choices to be a whore and to be a fucking prostitute. And then when all of that dries up, they will be like, oh, the man, I need a man that does this, and this for me. Like, that's fucking disgusting. Like, what can you do for yourself that's not showing your pussy lips to the world? Like, do you have any value? Do you have any type of goals or ambitions or anything like that? And if the answer is no, or if you're stuck in this, like, mindset of negativity, of, like, victimization that so many people are in, I'm gonna have to shut the door in your face and tell you, back of the line, dummy, because I have no time in my life at all for anybody that doesn't want to be better. If you don't want to be better, if you personally inside don't want to be better, I can't, nothing I will ever do will help you. And it became to the point where it's like, start asking me about, like, oh, when you getting paid? Like, and I know a scammer when I see him 1,000 miles away. So I'm playing along, and then the further it goes, it's like a heavy balance of, like, this broad is really good at what she's doing, or she's actually really genuine, and just two shitty situations are, like, colliding at shit rock together. And then, like, the more I realize, I, like, think this person was being genuine, and then I wasn't. It became to where I felt like I'm putting on the Captain Save-A-Ho vest again, and, like, pulling these broads out of the mud, and it's like, I'm not trying to, that's not any direction I'm trying to go with my life right now. Like, I get it, we all fuck up, and we all make mistakes, and we all, like, go through things, and we all, like, have to deal with these things, but at the end of the day, they're your problems to deal with, as are mine. Like, anything that I do and anything, my problems are mine to deal with, your problems are yours to deal with. And when all you come to the table with is more problems and no solutions, I don't want any part of that. And because I'm such a soft ass, I don't have a way of like I'll break it down into words, and then I become a dickhead because I was too real and too aggressive. It's not even being aggressive, but when people hear the truth and they hear reality, if they know, like, it's one of those things, like, if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. And people that know the truth, they'll listen to it. And again, I know I'm going back and forth across the page, but I'm trying to tell you guys many stories at once that kind of weave together like a seemingly never-ending tale of stories that kind of led every moment to this moment. And back to that person is, so I felt like I was being scammed because I've been around the victim mindset of other people that just thinks the world's out to get them, thinking that they're gonna be scammed. So I'm thinking, like, this girl can't be, there's no way she, like, actually likes me like that. There's no way she wants to be a part of my life like this. She doesn't even know me, and she's, like, saying crazy shit like that girls weren't saying to me from, like, 10 years ago. Like, oh, I love you so much, and, like, love has always been such a fucking weird, I don't want to say delicate, because it's not really a delicate topic for me. Like, I'll dive dick first deep into my tale of love, my tragedy of love. Like, love is not, from my personal experience, and I don't want to take away from anybody that has, like, the right key to love or whatever, but from what I've experienced and what people project to me as what they consider love, has been fucked up, man. Fucked up. Fucked all the way up. And it doesn't make sense to me, and I question it, and then I become the asshole because I don't fall into their fucking childish beliefs. And it just becomes a cycle of, like, I'm putting so much good out, but they take them, there's so much, and I never claim to be a saint, brother. There's people worse than me in the world, there definitely is, but there's also people better than me in the world too, and that's the thing, is I want to be better than the version of myself that I was yesterday. And that's it. For me, that's where it goes. At the end of the line, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck about nobody else's shit on that level, because I'm not taking in nobody's problems anymore, and you shouldn't either. Don't, like, you go to work and some fat bitch comes in, she's been there 50 years and she's trying to complain to you about how she hates her job. You know you're gonna have that conversation with her because she comes in and has that conversation with you every time she comes to work. Dude, don't worry about that bitch. Like, if you take that energy and all of her, like, problems that don't even really exist, like, a lot of these people, I was one of them. I created a lot of mental problems that weren't, like, things in my mental landscape that I believed to be a reality that were far from it, okay? And those, I lost the love of my life, and twice. We'll say twice, but the real skin and bones of it, a handful of times, because we can go back to what love is and what I had felt from person X, Y, and Z that made it seem like that love thing is more of a thing that's real. But also due to the situations we were in at the time, it's like so much shit we thought was normal and wasn't, and like there's so many, like, I know I was trying to say this earlier and I couldn't really put it together in a way that I wanted, like to make it make sense to everybody, but and now it's going away again because I fucking put too much emphasis on it, and trying to think about it doesn't want to be there. It's like, oh my god. I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, I don't ever feel like I'm doing enough. And I always feel like I'm doing too much also at the same time. And, dude, I hate this era of women, bro, because I don't know what happened to them, what traumas led them to be in this victim mindset that they are in. And it's not just one or two or a handful. It's the more that I'm seeing it, it's just so many people are living in that mindset of like, it's I'm just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to scream. Another thing too is, and you, if you're a male also, you are already the antagonist, right? Antagonist, anti-hero, yeah. Antagonist in 1,000 women's stories. Just because you existed in their fucking space at the same time that they did. And I don't know how to explain it to people within that 10-second window of like seeing somebody, you smile at them, whatever, you get that feeling that, oh, you're crooked, or you're not, or this or that. And that window opens and closes, and it comes a lot faster than it does. And damn, they really don't want me to talk about this shit, bro. It's like every time I get on a roll, like, ooh, it's shiny. I'm like a fucking walking power plant, dude. That's so much like juice. Not even in a sus way, just like I can always be on 100 or 0. And back to the thing, dude, I don't know, any woman that ever has to deal with whatever the fuck they have to deal with, those stories are traumatic and they're horrible, but the thing is, the fact of the matter is, I didn't share the traumas the way that you did. And of course I'm not justifying anybody's horrible actions against other people ever, but the thing is like, when you play a rigged game, you're gonna lose every time. And I know I'm going like in and out of the pond with everything I'm trying to say here and like the message I'm trying to bring, but piece by piece, as like my thoughts come together more clearly and I release all this negative energy that's been like surrounding me, and all this shit comes back to life, like everything's gonna flow, just like the ocean, river, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the creek we were talking about earlier, the imaginary water supply that is a constant state of flow, that is your energy system within you. And there is no woman on the face of this earth that should walk around in fear and living in this fear mentality and of like, oh, I'm gonna get raped, and like, oh, and before anyone says anything fucking stupid, I know it happens all the time, and it's not even a question about it's not a whose fault is it, it's not a victim's thing. we interact with millions of people throughout our lifetime, and it's back to that 10-second window again. Like, and everybody we react with and interact with and encounter, we're either the saving grace or the chaos in their life, in their experience that is this life. Like, your power, like the way telling somebody a simple, just saying kind things to somebody. Have a nice day. And if I start saying that at work, I'm gonna fucking go into my mankind era. Have a nice day, and like go crazy and get into that character, and just can't ever say have a nice day without thinking of mankind. And I don't know why it's been 2 hours and all I've been doing is just talking to myself and just talking and just letting a bunch of shit out that I guess was pent up inside of me that needed to come out. And I say nobody, in the grand scheme of things, like, the message that I am trying to send, I don't think it's going to ever reach the audience it needs to. And I hope that's not the case, because I know deep down all of us, like I was trying to say earlier, we are all the same, man. We all live the same fucking life. We experience the exact same life, but just from a different... Like, we've all had different perspectives of this game called life. Every single one of us. Even, just imagine, like, on the Titanic, like, the people that were at the very bottom, and, like, low class, and you're looking under the sea, when you look out your window cabin, all those experiences, and then all the way up to, like, the good experiences where you're looking out and you see, like, nothing but water, or at the time of doom, you look out, oh my god, the iceberg, whatever. What are you talking about? I just, at this point in my life, I know who's there for me, and I don't, and I also know who's, like, gonna try to, like, be a dick rider and be like, oh yeah, we used to be cool back in the day, and it'll be people that, like, talk shit about me, threw hands with me, or, like, bullied me, or anything. But also, well, the thoughts are coming back again. As many people that have interacted with me in my existence, maybe say it's 100,000, give or take. I don't know the fucking number. I'm not a geek like that to break everything down to numbers that far. But the thing is, oh god, what is the thing? Oh, fuck, man. I just... It got to... We're gonna go back to the female thing, the careful what you wish for thing. I thought in my heart that this person was someone that I wanted in my life, but it just... They didn't... They had a bunch of unhealed trauma, and like I said earlier, unloved, and just turned that into, like, a toxic whirlpool of, like, oh, you are now my lifeline type shit, and it's like, oh, this is weird. I haven't had to deal with that shit since high school, and that was where the second love, one of the first love of my life, got away from me, and we'll talk about that another. I want to get her side of the story too, like, cause this girl I dated when I was younger, there's a couple girls I dated when I was younger that I want to get on the podcast, and like, just a couple of ones already said they want to like share their side and like, you know, how it affected them and like whatever. But like some of the stuff that this girl's parents put her through to try to keep us from dating back in the day was like so, dude, insane is not even like good enough coverage of the term, because like it was next level manipulative, controlling, psychotic fucking behavior that like made me love this girl the wrong way. And like as much as I like loved her, I wanted to be with her and be a part of her life, it was just like the universe did, like it was me and her against the world type shit. And it's just, her parents were just so controlling and so against me. It was like a war against me more so than it was anything. I was like, every time they found out she was like communicating with me still, it, like her punishment at home got worse, and then like I got to a point where I just like felt like I was the reason she was going through all those things because of me. And it's like it was never me, man. It was never like, I didn't put her through that, and I never wanted her to go through that. But her fucking parents were psycho asses, and it like it fucked us up, dude. It really did, because it, I mean, damn, I don't want to open that can of worms right now. Everything's just like flowing out, coming out, and it's just like, this, I guess this is the landmark video and like the landmark pivot point in my channel where like all this shit is about to start coming to life that I've always wanted. And part of me still believes I don't deserve it, because it's like, what if, I always tell myself, like, what did you do to earn it? I'm so grateful now that I have the mindset of like that I do. I was trying to say this earlier too, is like if I had the mindset I did when I was 19, my dream career would have been over in a heartbeat, and I probably would be dead right now, because I had no alternative, nothing to look back on, nothing to look forward to, nothing to look against the grain if it didn't work. It was pro wrestling or nothing. And when I started to realize it was nothing, I was like, well, maybe then I'll be nothing too. And this is a teeter-totter that we can go back into for a heavy amount of time, of where all these moments in life started aligning, and all these weird, strange things that were happening to me, I couldn't fully grasp myself in and fully encapsulate and be like, yeah, I deserve this, like this is meant for me. And then the few times I did get that feeling, it would get snubbed out and like punched out or sprayed. It's like a flame extinguished with a mist gun, just right type shit. And I never let that shit stop me. And I never let, I did. For 10 years I let it stop me, but it didn't stop me completely, because it was always in the back of my mind, even going through all that shit, all those depressive days and all those things where I thought I had the world in my hands, and I lost the vision of what I thought the world was at the time in said hands, and lost that shit into the fucking chasms and the depths of hell, and just let it go. And I don't want to, like, anybody that knows me and that has been friends with me for years, knows who I was talking about earlier, with like the tyrannical fucking Chinese like war sergeant parents that this beautiful young girl had to do and endure, and all because she wanted to like date me and be with me, and I wanted to be with her, but like there was, I just, man, I hope we can talk about it, like, maybe we don't do it on a public forum, but maybe we can talk about it like as adults now, and just like, because I didn't want any other girl in the world when I got her, and then everything was perfect until it wasn't, and I took all of that, all of her parents' like manipulation and craziness and psychoticness, and like I took all that as like, I'm the problem, it's me, like, yeah, like this dude's right, like I shouldn't be sneaking his daughter out, you know, late at night and whatever. But the thing is like we loved each other. We were in love with each other. I know for a fact. Like that was the first time, I say the one and only, is the first out of 2 times that I really, really ever felt that like true, genuine love that she had. Like she loved me and I loved her, and we loved every part of it. And our parents just hated me so much. And at the time, I didn't get it. Looking back, I get it now. Like, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her, like, with some fucking, you know, tattooed scumbag. But then again, I didn't have that mindset of, like, getting to know people and, like, getting to understand why people are the way they are. And, it's just one of those things, like, I don't even know, I don't want to, like, dig too deep into it, because if she ever sees this video, I don't want her to, like, reopen a can of worms that she tried to, you know, close up. But that it was just such a big monumental piece of my life, and I didn't realize it at the time because it was like such a big explosion, you know what I mean? It was like just a constant barrage of threatening text messages, and like always looking over my shoulder to be like, oh, is dude following me because I'm dating his daughter? And it's like, I didn't understand at the time like why he was being so crazy. And the more I think about it, like, the craziness was uncalled for. Like, where I stand with this person now, like, I can't say if it's good or bad. Like, part of me would like to, you know, bring his brain matter to the pavement, just for like all the shit he put her through, like, just because she wanted to be with me. All the fights they got in because of me. And it wasn't, and at the end of the day, it wasn't a personal thing. It was, he loved his daughter, and he didn't want anything to happen to her. And I get that. I totally get that. But as a 17-year-old kid, that's not where your head's at, you know? And you just, you're thrust into the shadow of all this hate, and you don't even know, like, why. It's like, oh, it's because I have tattoos and I don't go to church, and that's the main, like, stem of, like, what it started from. And it's like, well, like, thought we were a big melting pot. I thought our differences is what brought us together type shit. And it was like, I was so different than everybody else that it was just like I was blackballed. And to this day, like I was trying to think earlier, like I was saying earlier, like I don't know if like part of me wants to fucking smash his brain matter into the pavement and make him eat it with a fucking spoon. And part of me, like, just, like, I just want to let it go because I understand, like, it doesn't make it right. I'm not justifying his actions toward her or to me because, like, that dude's a fucking lunatic. And apparently, from conversations we've had years later, that, like, they have sealed their deal. Like, they came together and realized and talked about, like, why it was fucked up on both sides, and I get it, man. He was trying to protect his daughter, and at the time, he, you know, I never would have admitted it to anyone, but he was right. Like, I didn't have any goals, I didn't have any dreams, you're just, like, he saw me for what I was, and at that time, I was a loser. Like, I didn't have any goals and anything like that, but none of that mattered to him. Like, it didn't matter how much, like, me and her loved each other or how much, like, we wanted to make it work. None of that mattered because he took that initial cast of judgment upon me. He saw, like, one tattoo I had, or, like, heard something from someone, like, down the vine, like, oh, Cody, I heard this Cody guy's like this. Oh, so you're getting, like, weird, you're not getting facts, you're getting, like, diluted pieces of information transmitted down the system of people that interact with you that may not fuck with you really on a bigger scale. So, like, if they don't see the bigger picture, yeah. And this is what I was trying to say earlier. I'm in 100,000 people's fucking storybooks. And a lot of these people, guess what? I'm the bad guy. That's the way that I'm painted on their pictures. And it's not to anyone's fault or anyone's that. It's just like, that's what I'm trying to explain about the importance of this, like, instant, like, the first day for a job type shit, you know, like, you want to be on your P's and Q's, you want to be the best that you can be always, because you never know who you're talking to. Like, if you're gonna treat people like shit, treat everybody like shit, okay? And if you're gonna be respectful, treat everybody respectful. Like, I talk to the janitor the same way I talk to the CEO. Like, they are fucking humans. Like, they are fucking people, actual people, and not just, like, cogs in the machine. And when you can connect on that level with people, it scares a lot of people because they're afraid to. There's so much going on inside of them, they don't know, like oh my god, I'm too scared to be. If I don't find a new fear to be afraid of, I'm gonna have new fears to be feared. It's like, what? It's like, and I get it, man. I do get it, because, like I was saying earlier, perception's not reality. But 100,000 people have a perception of me, and it is their reality of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for those 15 seconds, you come out of the bathroom, you catch the tail end of me cussing out somebody at the self-checkout lane. What you didn't see before you walked out of the bathroom door is where he followed me into the parking lot and said something stupid to my girlfriend, and then followed me around the store, and whatever happened. You didn't see any of that shit. You only saw the fragment of that piece of reality that was there at that time. You saw the last bit of that altercation. You're like, my God, that man, he really that wouldn't be my son. My son wouldn't dare have a temper like that. Like, and then all these people put themselves and put all these thoughts in other people's situations that don't exist. And it's like, and if I'm going too fast for you, please tell me to stop and I'll break it down. Like, if you're confused, if you don't understand what I'm saying, if I try to break it down, but then sometimes I get caught in the damn tether pole of fucking shit, and I get launched and lost in the sauce, and I can't help it. But it's been 2.5 hours, and I've been talking to myself like a fucking crazy man this whole time, and it is now time that we go. I really hope that you guys have been paying attention, and like, I hope the message that I'm trying to bring gets to the people that it needs to get brought to. If you don't want to help yourself, I definitely do not want to help you, and I will not help you ever.